BTS News Today. The golden summer light bathed the Los Angeles sky that afternoon. Warm air gently enveloped the city, yet calm was nowhere to be found in a small corner of Hollywood, where a renowned music studio stood tall. Inside, two beloved figures, Park Jimin and Jungkook of BTS, were immersed in their own world. There were no large posters, no media cameras, just a simple sign hanging on the glass door that read, "Session in Progress." Still, the news had already spread like wildfire. Early in the morning, blurry photos emerged showing Jimin and Jungkook entering the studio grounds dressed casually with thick masks. Their faces were mostly covered, but their posture, gait, and even the way they carried their coffee from the car to the studio door were enough to ignite mass excitement. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #Jungkook recording and #BTS is coming quickly shot to the top of worldwide trends. The buzz grew even stronger when big hit music staff were spotted at the location, some carrying folders and laptops, deeply engaged in serious discussions, clearly not mere small talk. Inside the studio, the atmosphere was hushed but intensely focused. The soundproofed room became the witness to voices that would soon shake the world. Jimin sat behind the microphone, eyes closed, leaning slightly forward. His voice flowed gently, alternating between Korean and English, melancholic, touching a song that no one had ever heard before. Meanwhile, in the room next door, Jungkook stood with earphones in both ears, re-listening to a vocal take from earlier in the day. Occasionally, he nodded, furrowed his brow, then made notes on his iPad. Though working in separate rooms, their communication never ceased. They exchanged voice messages, discussed lyrics, synced harmonies, and ensured every emotion poured into their music was deeply felt. That studio was more than just a recording space, it was a place of quiet confessions, a channel of energy. A space where their longing for the stage, for music, and for ARMY was transformed into melodies and words. One song ended, another began. There were no long breaks, save for a quick lunch enjoyed in a corner while listening to raw demo tracks. "This song is really personal," Jimin said to one of the producers. "It's not just about love, but also about loss and hope. I want people to hear it and feel they're not alone." Jungkook added with a serious tone, "We don't want just a comeback. We want these songs to be a bridge between us and those who've been waiting all this time." Their words weren't just for show. On the producer's laptop screen, the tracklist they were working on revealed a bold and mature musical direction. Some songs began with soft acoustic guitar plucks and whisper-like backing vocals. Others were up-tempo, filled with electronic beats but still left room for Jimin's soft vocals and Jungkook's powerful voice. The surprise came when an international producer, who had previously worked with Justin Timberlake and Ariana Grande, appeared in the studio that afternoon. He said little, simply nodded and greeted the team, then joined the mixing session with intense focus. His presence fueled rumors that BTS was preparing for a global album, perhaps with unexpected cross-genre collaborations. Outside, a small group of ARMYs had gathered respectfully. Some held banners that read, "Welcome back BTS," even though they knew they wouldn't see their idols anytime soon. They just wanted to be closer, to feel the energy, to express a love that had been held back for years since the group's hiatus was announced. As night fell and the studio lights remained bright, even more explosive news began to spread. An insider from Big Hit Music was quoted saying that this project wasn't just about the two members. "You'll see more than just a duo," the source hinted, suggesting the involvement of other BTS members. Could this mean a full comeback? Had all the members secretly reunited in the US? Speculation ran wild. Some said RM and J-Hope had already recorded their parts earlier. Others claimed Taeyong and Jin would join them later in the week. There were even rumors that Suga, who had been on hiatus for health reasons, was secretly involved in producing a ballad track. But amidst it all, one thing was certain: July 8, 2025, was no ordinary day for the K-pop world. It marked a turning point, a moment when silence slowly shifted into an echo, when two of seven hearts that once conquered the music world began to rebuild their voice for the world to hear once again. Jimin and Jungkook finished their final recording session close to 11 p.m. that night. Exhausted but glowing, the two exited the recording room. They said nothing to the distant media, simply waving briefly before entering their waiting car. But between them, a shared glance spoke volumes, a gaze between two artists who knew they had just created something significant. Soon after, BTS's official Weverse account posted a blurred image of a lyric sheet with only a few words visible, captioned, "Coming sooner than you think." In under 15 minutes, the post received over 2 million comments and 4 million likes. For ARMY, it was no longer just a hope. It was real. BTS is coming. And it all began with Jimin and Jungkook's busy day in that little Hollywood studio, July 8, 2025. That night, in the temporary creative HQ of their LA studio, the recordings finally stopped. Jimin and Jungkook exchanged weary smiles packed with meaning. A new journey had begun. What they had created wasn't just a song, but a turning point for BTS toward their next creative chapter. Official confirmations followed. On July 1, 2025, during a Weverse live stream watched by over 7.3 million fans, the entire BTS lineup, Jin, RM, V, Jimin, J-Hope, Jungkook, and Suga, announced that they would begin working as a full group in the US throughout July 2025. With a new full album planned for release in spring 2026. Media also reported that BTS would undergo a 2-month song camp in the US, without returning to Korea during this period, as part of preparing their first full group album since 2020. Their days in the US grew more intense. After their recording session, Jimin and Jungkook were joined by RM and Suga, who had arrived earlier, RM on July 6th, with J-Hope and Jin scheduled to arrive after wrapping their solo promotions. Together, BTS began deep creative discussions, brainstorming themes, melodies, and emotional songwriting. International producers began to arrive. Most notably, a producer who had worked with Justin Timberlake and Ariana Grande became involved, indicating a heightened global approach this time. Their goal, to craft work that was mature, universally relevant, and emotionally raw. ARMY's online reaction was blazing. The mysterious lyric sheet posted on Weverse, with its message "coming sooner than you think," instantly flooded with millions of responses, proof that long-held hopes were finally becoming reality. According to Reuters, 6 of the 7 members completed their military service by June 2025, with Suga being the last on June 21, 2025. During the July 1st live stream, RM shared that the upcoming album would reflect both individual thoughts and their collective values from the beginning of their careers. A look into their personal timelines. Jin began his solo Runsichin EP tour from Goyang June 28 to 29th, continuing to Japan, America, and Europe through early August. J-Hope completed his solo world tour Hope on the Stage, spanning Asia, America, and concluding in Korea on June 13th to 14th in Goyang. Their individual growth made the group's reunion feel monumental, not just a comeback, but a return as evolved artists with richer experiences. Memories of their busy July 8th session linger. During mixing sessions, the studio label curated a private playlist featuring early music samples. Meanwhile, choreography and visual teams began sketching stage concepts. Most of their time was spent indoors, occasionally shifting to a small lounge with a piano, where improvised melodies were sung over coffee tables. After a long vocal session, Jimin occasionally gazed across the room while jotting reflections. In another corner, Jungkook recorded acoustic guitar ideas. They discussed visual concepts, album themes, color tones, and even new merchandise designs, all away from cameras but filled with meaning.